Episode 39. We've now reached the final arc of the show, the Dark Warlords arc. Zhang Ju hatches a plan to end the dream battle in 3 days. With the dream battle going on for too long, the Royal Seal, what connects our world to heaven, is reaching its limit, and Zhang Ju is making it worse by bringing back defeated legend heroes that want to absorb energy and return to their previous hosts. How they're doing it is through hero pieces that are already dead, and of course, through an energy absorption device called the Dark Pentagon. So, can't help but think they're zombies. Even if Zhang Ju is reviving them, still can't help but think of them as zombies. Speaking of which, about zombies, Episode 40, Unstoppable Bond. I mentioned the episode title because Zhang Ju pulls some shit. Wait, I think I said his name. Zhang Ju? Yeah, Zhang Ju, Korean accent. Anywho, he makes a copy of Zuzu to mess with Liu Bei's head, and my jaw dropped. Zugei's not buying it, having already accepted Zuzu's death, but Liu Bei's more manipulated, and I love it. Imagine that. Imagine that happening to you. What would you do? This is what Liu Bei did. He walked into Zhang Ju's trap, only for Guanu to snap him out of it, and now they both have an opening to destroy the Dark Pentagon's control switch. And after a giant mech fight, Zhang Ju would have died, but instead he throws Zuzu in the way as a human shield, and it got me like, this guy doesn't know when to give up. But now we go to the next episode, because the end of episode 40 leads into episode 41. Zhang Ju has kidnapped Dao-chan to lure out everyone into a trap. He also still has Lu Bu and is converting him into a Dark Warlord. And this one is super powerful. He even managed to survive a mech fight and still gets back in the game. And the only thing that could combat it is a golden hawk dragon that came from the sky and revealed itself when all of Liu Bei's pieces jumped out to protect their lord. The surge of energy from Guanu summoned the dragon bonded to Liu Bei. And before Liu Bei receives the dragon's hero piece, he declares a warning that'll be important later of who's in control for now. Liu Bei gets the golden hero piece and has a new form, his final form, Legend Hero Imperial. Now let's talk about that suit and how magnificent it is. This suit it is a very good suit. This is not only is it an absolute evolved form for the Guanu form, but it's a legitimate final form. Nothing else would work for that type of power and design except for of course the base form. Not only that, he has a cape. All the gold areas are shining. The dragon motif is all over. It's all fantastic. And that's the point of a final form, because it shows how far the main writer has come to say this is it. It says this is it from here on out. So Imperial form finally does Lu Bu in, but before he fully dies, the entire Warlord outfit prepares to self-destruct. Liu Bei tries to save Lu Bu before the explosion, but unfortunately doesn't. But in a cathartic ending, wait, did I spell that? Yeah, but in a cathartic ending instead, and because Zhang Ju finally gets beaten and shot a bunch of times, and even better, they destroy the Dark Pentagon, and Sima Yi fully kills Zhang Ju. And I still love seeing Zhang Ju get killed. But so yeah, Sima Yi is the final villain. That came out of nowhere. Literally, if this was to have one flaw, it would be that the villains have no build up or backstory because they just show up. Any whatever. Episode 42. Time to put a side plot to bed. Now, like what I said before Liu Bei got Imperial, the dragon made a warning of who would be in control, either him or Liu Bei. Right now, it's the dragon. It's making Liu Bei crazy, power hungry, and wanting to fight like a wild animal. And while we're at it, there's one legend hero who hasn't played importance yet because he only shows up, like I mentioned for this moment, legend hero How Huatao Huatao, I forgot how to pronounce his name. He is actually Master Lu Zi. He was the previous champion of the Dream Battle 300 years ago. His wish was to re-enter the competition, which also gave him immortality, since he has been in his hundreds, since he's actually in his hundreds somewhere. Anyway, his dream was to win again and be a champion, but if he couldn't obtain that dream, he would want Liu Bei to obtain it instead, which is why every now and then he showed up to fight Liu Bei when his spirits were down. Liu Bei, under the dragon's control, defeats Lu Zi, and puts him out of the dream battle. Now, freeing Liu Bei from mind control and leaving him with Liu Bei's ambition to win. I mean, freeing Liu Bei from his mind control, he's now out of the Lu Zi is now out of the competition, but left for Liu Bei his ambition to win. And so, episode 43 and 44. Sima Yi reveals to Cho that he saved the Dark Pentagon and offers him to fuse their abilities together to make him even stronger, and he does so, leading into episode 45. After 3 Dark Warlords are defeated, one of them being Sun Che's sister, Shang Xian, she was forcibly turned into one an episode ago. Sima Yi collects the pieces, revealing himself as the real villain of the show. Sun Che tries to go after him, but by using the best method ever, running up and hoping to hit him, he gets curve stomped by Hao Dong in his new form, thanks to the Dark Pentagon, Legend Hero Kaiser. So this is technically Cho's final form. So let's talk about the suit. It's pretty dark, and it took a great turn too. Not only with the red and gold, but now adding black. The dark interior was, honest to God, the best choice, and it's amazing. And so, Cho and Liu Bei fight because he's a level up. He's up a level than him. Oh, and on top of that, Sun Che is also very sick. He has an unknown illness that we are now, and I mean the audience too, just now knowing about. Sun Che would have shot him, but but he doesn't. Chow Chow would have shot him, shoot him. Yeah, shot. Yeah, grammar. Anyway, Chow Chow would have shot him, but instead he doesn't have full control of Kaiser yet. Anyway, Sunche is soon hospitalized, but before that happens, he hands a book of techniques to Liu Bei to give it to his little brother Sun Quan. We also learn that Sun Quan personally hates his brother, and because he made him break his arm by trying to karate chop a boulder. Yeah, if I was that kid, I wouldn't let that go either. And I completely understand why he hates him anyway too. But for a kid, Sun Quan is also a very strong fighter too. So episode 47, he becomes Tai Chi, because you can just give your shit to a relative in the dream battle. Is there a rule book? Seriously, like, is there a rule book? Like, you can just... Is there a rule book? Back to the episode. Chow Chow and Sima Yi have made their move again, with the Dark Pentagon now inside of Chow Chow to absorb hero power to make himself stronger. And at the end of 47, Liu Bei uses Imperial and beats the brakes off of Kaiser. And just to make sure he doesn't go too far, Zhuge reels him back so that he could destroy the Dark Pentagon. Sunche is still unconscious, but him and his brother now reconcile, and Sun Quan makes them fist bump while he's sleeping. And that's nice. And to top it off with a montage of Sunche too, like, it's beautiful. It almost makes you want to cry. Now, episode 48, Sima Yi's plan to create a new royal seal and use it as a weapon for him to pilot. Yeah, but angels aren't allowed to fight on their own, so he tricks Chow Chow into using an angel piece he has to take over his body, turning him into the great warlord Sima Yan. Like, not only is he a dark counterpart to Imperial, but he was also the villain from Liu Bei's dream from the first episode. So, Sima Yan is no joke. He's been turning people into stone and does it to Zhao Yun and Sun Quan. Liu Bei and Sima Yan fight, but to no avail. Liu Bei gets hit and is close to turning into stone too. And so, episode 49, Liu Bei is bound to turn into stone, and there's no stopping it. The only way to save him is for Zhuge to do what Sima Yi did to Chow Chow and take over his body. That way he'll recover. So Zhuge forms a plan to steal an angel hero piece from Sima Yan, and it works, but at no cost. No, it works, but at the cost of Mizu and his crew sacrificing themselves. I may not have liked them, but at least they paid off for something. Now, with Zhuge with it, Zhuge can save Liu Bei, and he does so, but instead Liu Bei wakes up, and it's actually Liu Bei, and Zhuge sacrifices himself, bringing Liu Bei up to par with Sima Yan, or maybe stronger, because there's one scene where Sima Yan thinks he turned him into stone and destroys him, but Liu Bei just shows up behind him and says, "Surprise, bitch." Now, leading us into episode 50, the final episode before killing Sima Yan. The hero pieces Hao Dun and Young go get Dao Chang to save him because that little girl is the only real thing he has to redeem himself as a character. Yeah, it works, and everyone that has turned to stone turns back. Sima Yi, like all others before and after, doesn't give up and summons a giant robot so that they summon their mechs and defeat him with Legend King Eternity, which officially kills him even after his mech is destroyed. So, after Sima Yi dies, they finally settle things and end the dream battle. Unfortunately, we don't see that, and it just pans to the fight being over. Ah, crap. Sorry, I'm distracted for a moment. So yeah, what the hell? Why do we not see the final battle between those three, and Liu Bei just wins? Oh yeah, not to mention there are like these two other legend heroes. I didn't mention them up to this point because I don't like them. They suck. They're not funny. And they're annoying as all frickin' hell. And even the show forgets about them at the very end. Anywho, so yeah, Zhao Yu Zhao Yu gives up her life to heal Sung Che, but my point still stands. So, happy ending mode. Zhuge comes back now. Now that Liu Bei won the dream battle, Liu Bei's granted a wish, and the first one gets declined because it's for everyone to be happy, and I don't disagree there because wishing for everyone in the world to be happy is like wishing for world peace. How exactly do you do that? So instead, they reveal the blueprints of another royal seal and make their wish to end the dream battle forever. And yeah, it turns out everyone knew where Zhang Ju's lab was, and nobody thought of like doing a raid so that he'd cut the crap. But with two royal seals that can now generate multiple dreams, the dream battle's done for good, and Zhuge is now in charge of managing the dreams. So, with the dream battle over, everyone's memory of the dream battle are now erased except for Liu Bei's. That's bittersweet. Everyone leaves and the journey is over. So, a few months later, Liu Bei is still running Dowang Quan, and I just really like the final episode. Gongsan comes back. Chow Chow, however I've been pronouncing it, he is Teo again, and is back on the force, and is Dao Chan's legal guardian. And Sun Che is cured from his disease, and is getting along again with his brother. And at the end of the show, this is really sweet, and also bittersweet. Since Liu Bei is the only one who remembers everything, and nobody knows, like, if he brings up legend heroes, no one knows what the hell he's talking about. There's just this sense of being alone, and for a moment, until Guanu and the other pieces come to him in their human forms, so that they'll embrace, and that's the end of the show. Legend Hero is amazing, and doing this review makes me fight not trying to overhype it, because it's genuinely something you have to see for yourself. But now, finally, let's get to these characters. Starting off with Liu Bei, or Luby. Yeah, Luby. Anywho, Luby. He is that naive protagonist in tokusatsu that we always dreamed of having. He's naive, but he's not stupid. Like, he's the type of naive protagonist that we so needed in tokusatsu to truly grow and be better. It's like I'm gonna keep making the comparisons to Ryuki, but Luby is Shinji done right. He's a novice who's just been thrown into something out of this world, but instead of going back on his word constantly again and again, like, he takes from his experience and grows from it, and he doesn't go back on his word. If something needs to be done, he'll get it done, whether it's fighting another legend hero or not. And it makes him even more awesome, so that it even surprises me and Zuge. Anyway, so next, Gongsan. I wish she was in the show so much more. I really do wish she was in the show a lot. I really wish she was in the show a lot more. She was amazing. I don't know why she was written off the show, because like what I said, like, this show is not really, like, the wiki for this show is blank for anything involving the actors. But with Gongsan, she was that needed straight woman that played her part, and she played her part well. She was there to be support for Lube, so that eventually Lube could stand on his own once she's gone. I'm very happy. I'm just very happy that she actually showed up at the final episode, and that it wasn't forgotten, because she really was a great character. Once again, I just really wish there was more of her. Sex. Zuzu. Best leading woman in this show. Either first or second, comparing her to Gongsan. Zuzu was amazing. And I so wish that she was in this show a lot more. But she was in this show from episode 20. She was in this show from episode 1 to episode 25. And from what we got from her, same thing with Luby. She grew. Once she became his angel, she took that opportunity to be a lot more competent, and she ran with it. And oh my god, I still feel so sad. I'm still so sad that she died, and then she came back, and then she had to die again. Oh my god, this show played with my heart for a moment. So next, Cho-Cho. Like, Dio-chan is honestly what redeems his character. Because I think, honestly, without that little girl, Luby would have been better off killing him. Because he fell for a darker tone and went about it by killing off Dao Zong and getting his revenge. And after that, he just went about being merciless, saying what he's doing is for justice, but his sense of justice was corrupt. Like, Wan Young favored Luby a bit more in terms of sense of justice because, well, Luby was more incorruptible, like, because he is himself, and he has his friends to back him up. Chow Chow didn't really have that. He just had his role model for his sense of justice to show him right from wrong. And once he died, he went about things his own way and did it the wrong way. But as a character, though, it's a bit sort of a tough one because he's that. Well, let's put it this way: he's that perfect and anti. He's that perfect anti-hero and anti-villain because he's an antithesis to Liu. He's powerful, competent, and not to mention, he has his own sense of what he wants to do once the dream battle is over and justice anyway. He already knows what he wants to do. While with Liu, he grew and thought of what he wanted more step by step at a time, and he had plenty of people supporting him. So, Sunche. Sunche's fun. This Sunche, he's really fun. He's the strong one. He has his overbearing brother moments, but for the most part, he's fun. He's not a bad character. Although the illness thing, that really did come out of nowhere. I wish that they would have done something with that a bit more, a little more foreshadowing. Because we knew nothing about him having a disease up till that point. But his story ends well, and his brother takes his place, and they actually get along again afterwards. Anywho, Zhuge Liang. He was good. Really, Liu is now. Once again, Zhuge is one of those characters who comes in to play a part after someone else has already fulfilled their role. First, it was Gongsan that was there to support Liu in battle. Then it was Zuzu, and then it was Zhuge for the final arc. And you can understand why. He's a lot smarter, a lot more powerful, and he's really intelligent too. And with Liu, he sees why people are fighting in the dream battle so much for their own dream. But for Liu, he just does it to make everyone happy, and he lightens them up, and that's about it. He lightens them up, and it works. Yeah. He's the smart one who loosens up a bit, once as he progresses. Alright. I don't know. Alright, do I want to talk about the hero piece? Alright, sure, why not? Now let's talk about the hero pieces as a whole. Or at least more now. They're like what I said before. They all have that one trait. There's honorable one, strong one, brooding one. And then once, or at least I'm talking about with Liu's pieces. Others are more caricatures. I cannot pronounce words today. Anywho, now on to the villains. Zhangju. He was there. He was honestly just there. He showed up and then he died because he was a there villain, and I still don't know why he was there. It did not make sense to me. But he died, and then Sima Yi became the final villain. To which, I guess, for a final antagonist, he did a good job. But it still just came out of nowhere. And what was the indication that Sima Yi was evil because of his look? That's not enough. But anywho, like I said, I already spoiled it that this show is similar to Ryuki. But it's Ryuki done right. There's an actual reason for all these heroes fighting. that can't be solved, so easily it becomes an actual competition, and our protagonists and characters are actually likable and aren't rarely gonna change assholes that we're stuck with for 50 episodes. Legend Hero, the Legend Hero, the Three Kingdoms, like, it's a show that you really gotta watch for yourself. Not only is it funny, but it's also very, very, very entertaining because the comedy stops after a while and then there's a real story to tell. Like, I walked into this show thinking that it was going to be a comedy, and I was dead wrong and wonderfully surprised by what was presented to me. Also, I'm really happy that I did get to watch this show because after I got done with Ryuki, like, I had no idea what show I wanted to watch next. I was thinking about this show, then another show. Then I got to this show, and I stuck with it because, well, for one, it was subbed, and two, everything about it just caught my attention, and I wanted to watch more. And I'm actually happy that I did. Whew. And this is a good show. Go check out Legend Hero: The Three Kingdoms, and hopefully you will enjoy it as much as I did. But with that said, next time when I do a full show review, it will be next year. We're kicking off 2020 with KamenRider Drive Month. Finally, I've been thinking about this for like 2 months now. And like, since I did have it planned like a little bit, yeah. I don't know when I was thinking about it, but I was eventually going to do it at some point. But yeah, January of 2020, I will be doing KamenRider Drive Month. So I'm gonna kick it off with the show, and then the rest of the month be the movies. And so, with that said, thank you guys for watching. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman. Like, this whole video alone was a little sketchy in my opinion because of how much I stopped to get a drink of lemonade as well as the breaks and whatnot, because talking for like so long, like, my tongue eventually had an aneurysm, and so I stopped to eventually keep going again. But like what I said, January, KamenRider Drive Month. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.